This news update is brought to you by
This is a 6 p.m. Barbados Today update for Wednesday, August 20th, 2014. I'm Kmar Jordan. Thanks for joining us. Good evening. Premature and immature. That's how Education Minister Ronald Jones has dismissed reports of a drastic decline in student enrollment at the University of the West Indies for the 2014 academic school year. With student registration still ongoing at the KFO campus, Mr. Jones is adamant that now is not the time for any run-in commentary on the current level of enrollment. And he's urging students to make the best use of the avenues provided to them to further their studies. Today, the Education Minister also responded to a decision by the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, the BSTU, to take the government to court over the transfer of 18 teachers from the Alexandra School in St. Peter. He maintains that his ministry acted within the law. Therefore, he says the BSTU is free to do as it pleases.
The Ministry of Education did nothing wrong in executing what but what it was mandated to do in relation to dealing with all the issues at the Alexandra School. So, but we are a country of laws, and at the end of the day, the BSTU is going that route, so wish them the best.
Meantime, outspoken Anglican cleric Reverend Charles Morris strongly condemns some of his fellow clerics. In fact, Reverend Morris says more than half of the churches on the island should be shut down for failing the people, particularly in these harsh economic times. He tells Barbados Today that most churches simply have not done enough to help the thousands of public sector workers who were recently laid off. He's also charging that some members of the clergy care more about titles than helping people.
60% of the churches in Barbados won't close it. I feel that. Right now I'm being conservative with the term 60%. I'm being conservative. Because they are keeping our people back. Added to that, I have to be very frank with you. Because as a priest, I see these things happen and they destroy my people. We have priests who are more concerned with titles.
In other news, Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan is in town. He's here for 5 days and is expected to chair a series of meetings marking the anniversary of the Million Man March. The next story is one of tragedy. It's not a scenario any mother ever wants to find herself in. But for the second time in 11 years, a Silver Sands mother is mourning the loss of a son and searching for answers. Last night, Catherine Williams lost her 40-year-old son, Markley Williams, who was shot and killed by an unknown gunman. She says this is not the first time that Williams has been shot, but the pain of his death is unbearable as she prepares to mark the 11th anniversary of his brother's death next month. In an interview with Barbados Today earlier this afternoon, she recounted the final moments of Markley's life.
The heart stopped about 3 different times before we get to the hospital. So the fella got the ambulance attendant tried to, Right. So then they get there, the doctor come out and tell me they're going to try to get it to surgery, but he didn't make it to surgery because he was bleeding so bad. Even the blood that them give him, they didn't have.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. sunshine reigns in
There's
my
regional and
country.
international
I
news
love it.
after this short break. To sport now, a brilliant 145-run partnership between Kieron Pollard and Dennis Ramden saved the West Indies much embarrassment and propelled the regional side to a 3-wicket victory over Bangladesh in the first one-day international of their 3-match series at the National Stadium in St. George's, Grenada. Pursuing a target of 218, indifferent early batting saw the regional side slump to 34 for 5 in the 14th over. But then Pollard came to the wicket and he hit a blistering 89 off 70 balls that included 5 boundaries and 6 sixes. Ramden also contributed a classy 74 off 76 balls with 6 boundaries and 1 6 to rescue the West Indies innings. Earlier, Bangladesh scored 217 for 9 with an excellent century from Alamul Haq. The opener struck 11 boundaries and 1 6 in compiling 109. To St. Lucia now, don't expect Richard Frederick to leave the opposition United Workers' Party without a fight. Last weekend, the party's national executive voted to expel Frederick from the UWP for what it says is his open defiance of party rules. As expected, the Castries Central MP is not at all happy with his expulsion, and he's putting the blame squarely at the feet of the UWP leader, Alan Chastanet.
The sad reality is Alan Chastanet has now laid his hand on the United Workers' Party, and he's doing what he does best, destroying it. And I can say this, Sir John must be turning in his grave.
Further afield, U.S. and British analysts are examining a video showing the beheading of an American journalist by ISIS militants. Yesterday, a videotaped execution of James Foley surfaced, sending shockwaves through the international community. In the video, a voice with an apparent British accent blamed U.S. interference in Iraq for Foley's death and vowed of further executions if the U.S. did not pull back. Analysts are trying to figure out whether the voice is authentic, even as U.S. President Barack Obama strongly condemns the killing.
From governments and peoples across the Middle East, there has to be a common effort to extract this cancer so that it does not spread. There has to be a clear rejection of these kind of nihilistic ideologies. One thing we can all agree on is that a group like ISIL has no place in the 21st century. Friends and allies around the world, we share a common security and a common set of values that are rooted in the opposite of what we saw yesterday. And we will continue to confront this hateful terrorism and replace it with a sense of hope and civility.
And that's a wrap on our 6 p.m. news update. We'll be back again at 7 o'clock in the morning. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, or like us on Facebook for the very latest news and sports. And for those of you out and about, remember you can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or via screenplay at supermarkets or a gas station near you. I'm Kamar Jordan. Enjoy a good night's rest and be sure to be right back here at 7 a.m. with Carol Williams for our morning update. Good evening.
This news update is brought to you by